years ago where on Sam Rayburn Lake in Texas, a red rattletrap was like one of the staples down there every spring. You know, anytime between like January to March, Rayburn Red Rattletrap won a lot of tournaments, and everybody sort of spread over into other parts of the bass fishing community where red was a really good bait in the springtime. And then in correlation with the with the lipless crankbait, the rattletrap, the wigglewort, which originated here in the Ozarks where I live, the reds and the oranges and the greens and the browns and those natural crawdad looking patterns were a staple in the springtime of the year. So you had this association with like the wigglewort and the rattletrap as spring fishing with red, being the best time to use it. And don't get me wrong, there's some truth to this, but that's not why it is the best. And let me explain to you guys why it is, because red will work a lot of different times throughout the year, not just in the springtime of the year. A lot of people put it down after the spring, but it can be good throughout the entire year at certain times. So let's talk a little bit about when you want to use red, because for me, it's like so much of the stuff I talk about here on the channel, it has to do with water clarity and water temperature. There are two windows that I have found that red works good on in terms of water clarity and water temperature. And the number one is like red works good. Now, this is the number one thing you need to remember. Red works good when the water temperature is in the 50s. Anytime the water temperature is between 50 and 59 degrees, you have got a red lure bite going on somewhere. It doesn't matter if it's in the 50s in March or if it's in the 50s like in November or December. There's something about it, and again, it's one of those mysteries of fishing. I can't explain what it is, but I have seen reproducible results in my own fishing. When it gets into the 50s, red works pretty good. And in correlation with that, there's a water clarity window for red to work in correlation with the water temperature. And that water clarity window is normally about 1.5 to 3 foot in that range, anywhere between that range. Now, of course, this is affected a little bit by your light intensity. I mean, if you have a bright sunny day, it could affect, that clarity range on one end of it, or if you have a cloudy day, it could affect the effectiveness on the other ends of the range. But basically, that's what you're looking at, about 1.5 to 3 foot of visibility with water temperatures in the 50s. That is a perfect scenario for that. Another thing with red that I found out is red is not a very good color to use around any type of a wood cover. To me, red is a rock cover, a rock color, and a grass color. It's really good over any type of submergent, hydrilla or milfoil or anything like that if you have the right water temperature and right water clarity. And then again, it's really good on any type of rock